So
Easy,
recording has begun. Oh,
yes.
Easy has not joined as well.
Yeah,
So
he said he will join around 8:15
okay,
p.m.
sounds
Yeah.
good. Okay, so Lena, I said let's get started, and hopefully Easy and Anand Jagannathan will join shortly. But in the interest of time, because it's already past 8 p.m. the East Coast, let's get started. I'll have Surya start, and we'll go from there.
Let me share my slides. Okay. Is it visible now?
Yep.
Yes.
So it's good. We'll get started. That's
Okay. Yeah. Vanakkam and good evening to all of you. Thank you everyone for joining us today. As you know, like with ATA, we always believe link, learn, and lead. And today is one another day. It's going to be a fantastic beginning for the um, cohort. Mainly, we are going to learn more about how Startup Accelerator works within ATEA. I'm Surya. I'm a vice president for ATEA Atlanta chapter, and I have Mr. Swaminathan from ATEA Atlanta. And this is today's agenda. We will be intro about the ATEA Atlanta chapters like Atlanta and Silicon Valley, and then we will be playing a AV about ATEA because for some are very new to ATEA, so they will also get to know what is ATEA is all about. And then Mr. Lena, he would be covering on the today's main uh, subject, that is ATEA Startup Accelerator. It's about DAX. And then we have very fantastic entrepreneurs and who made a impact in billion lives. So we start with Mr. Rupe's video. He shared us a video, and then Mr. Aditya from Swarpay, and Mr. Easy from CoStack, and Mr. Raja Sundaram from Pleti, and Mr. Ramesh from Jene Healthcare. And we have Mr. Anand Jagannathan from Thai at Silicon Valley, and finally Mr. Prakash on what would be the next steps once we know what it is all about. And finally, we will be opening up with the Q&A, because like we will be, so we would encourage everyone to have your question at last so that we will be covering the main part, and then you can ask questions around that. So with that, I will invite Mr. Swaminathan from ATEA Atlanta chapter. He's the president, to share a few words about ATEA Atlanta chapter.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Prakash, Lena, for joining and welcoming everyone. And part of special speakers, Aditya, Raja, and Ramesh. We are excited, and I know personally Ramesh. We have seen him grow in the Atlanta chapter area. So, looking forward to hear from others and welcome everyone. And the very important topic which I'm interested to hear from Lena is the grant opportunities from the government. We have already, as a part of ATA, we have already built a good relationship with the TN government, and how we leverage about it. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting things in today's session. So yeah, looking forward for it. Welcome you all. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Surya.
Thank you, Swaminathan. Thank you, Surya. So Swaminathan and Surya were instrumental in pulling this meeting together. So and they were relentless in fine-tuning all the various logistics and arrangements. So I really appreciate the work that both of you did. And so Lena and I here in Silicon Valley are uh, just making things happen. All the work was done by Swami and Surya. Having said that, I wanted to give a little, before we jump into DAX, I wanted to talk a little bit about ATEA. I don't know how many of you have attended an ATEA event before. So ATEA, let me pull up my presentation and share my screen. Actually, I'm going to, so some housekeeping before we get started. Please, everyone, unless you're a speaker, have yourself on mute. For speakers, please do turn your mics on and your video on. That way, everyone gets to see you and know you. Towards the end, when we do Q&A, please post your questions in the chat, and towards the end, we will invite you to, if there's time, we'll invite you to read out your question. At that time, you can turn your video on. And then in terms of recording, this session is being recorded. It's being transcribed as well. So please don't do your own transcription and recording. And we will share the recording and transcription at the end of this session, okay? So having said that, this is basically to conserve resources and make it efficient. So now let me share my screen. Yeah. So can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so let me go to the PowerPoint. Yeah. Can you see this, the ATEA presentation? Yes, Lena?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, I'll just take a few minutes. So ATEA is a nonprofit, non-political, non-partisan, it's a membership-based organization. And the idea is to, so some of you are familiar with TIE, and ATEA is not quote unquote competing with TIE. ATEA flows into TIE, and Aditya and Raja, when they talk about it later, they'll attest to it that they started off with ATEA, and ATEA in turn enabled them to move to TIE, and that's how we intend to operate, right? So, having said that, we have now, this obviously is incomplete. It does include Atlanta, but it does not include Carolinas, for example. So I need to update this chart, but we started off initially in Silicon Valley and New Jersey, and then it's now expanded. We've got numerous chapters coming up, and recently we opened up a Carolinas chapter. The Dallas chapter is, I don't know if anyone here from Dallas is here, but it's a thriving chapter, so doing really well. I'll say over 10,000 people across the nation are active participants, attending events, engaging in one way, shape, or form. And we'll talk about Digital Accelerator in just a little bit with various ATEA programs. So what we do is essentially we have all these people as part of the ecosystem, right? Including mentors, angels, CXOs. So if you are a startup getting started, then you have an opportunity to engage with investors. You have an opportunity for customers with CXOs. It's we have a pretty large subject matter expertise, so you get good mentors, etc. Right? Surya began by saying it's a linked learn and lead platform, and we'll share this presentation so you have it. So we have multiple verticals and multiple resources, right? So there are webinars, we have podcasts, and Lena will also talk about the government links and the resources that you have to connect to governments. And in terms of funding, we have, and again, later on at the end of the meeting, I'll tell you about how to participate in the DAX cohort. And as the various entrepreneurs participating today will tell you how much they've benefited from this ecosystem, right? So obviously, none of this will happen without sponsors and partners. ATEA is actively participating with the following government partnerships, so including the Karnataka Digital Mission, SICKI, STPI. So we have MOUs with many of these, and again, Lena will talk about how ATEA is the official government rep, TN government rep for the startup program in the US. And we're constantly looking to increase this, the sponsorships we have. So these are currently our sponsors and media and community sponsors. So with that, I'll stop and I'll hand it over to Lena to talk about Digital Accelerator.
Surya, you're going to run the
Oh,
introductory.
yes, please do that.
Yeah, I'll do that. Share real quick.
Hey, good evening, Lena. Hey, couple. Meenakshi Sundaram here. Good
Hi,
evening,
hi.
everyone.
Hi, welcome.
Sorry, I joined late. I don't know what I missed, but sorry for that.
So is my AV visible?
Yeah, yes, Surya. Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
America, the country with the most entrepreneurs, home to companies like Apple, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, and Tesla. Successful companies that have brought amazing innovation to the modern world. The American Tamil Entrepreneur Association, or ATEA, is home to those Tamil professionals who have left their homes behind and migrated here to success as entrepreneurs and leaders in technology. Founded in the year 2016 by experienced entrepreneurs from San Francisco and New York, ATEA transcends national boundaries to bring together Tamil professionals from all over the world. ATEA has been conducting workshops and seminars that have informed and advised entrepreneurs in various fields about early investment, emerging technologies, technical know-how, and mentoring. ATEA has many programs that assist entrepreneurs in every stage of their journey. Entrepreneurs can leverage ATEA's deep ecosystem of CXOs, SMEs, VCs, academics, and corporate executives. Another major initiator in the American Tamil Entrepreneur Association is the Digital Accelerator program. Digital Accelerator helps entrepreneurs connect with venture capitalists and seasoned professionals who offer expert technical advice. You could even qualify for a startup grant offered by the government of Tamil Nadu. Join us as we come together as proud Tamilians from all over the world and march together towards a common goal. If you are a Tamil entrepreneur anywhere in the world, contact the American Tamil Entrepreneur Association by email at contact@ateausa.org or visit us at www.ateausa.org.
Is there any lag on that video, like last play? So we are good, right? Oh, okay, good. Yeah. With that, yeah. With that, let us welcome Mr. Lena on briefing more about the accelerator.
Yeah.
Lena,
Can you hear me, Surya?
yes, Lena.
Yes, yeah. Good evening, everyone, and thank you once again, on a Friday evening, that you've set aside some time to learn about the ATEA's Digital Accelerator. Prakash, in his presentation, has covered a general overview of ATEA. The only thing I just want to add, last year we had two chapters, new chapters we brought on board. One was Seattle, that was started in January. And then we pretty much got Atlanta chapter moving forward since middle of last year, I think, or early last year. And this year, just a week ago, I think we had a fantastic launch by Carolinas in ATEA Carolinas. And I think the reason I'm bringing up various chapters and their very active participation, including Dallas, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Atlanta, including Silicon Valley here, we see a great opportunity to work together. And I believe this digital accelerator could be another important program which we can expand beyond a couple of chapters. We're very actively driving this, and sometimes people from Dallas or Pennsylvania participate, but it's been Silicon Valley and New Jersey, New York. I've been contributing this a lot, and as you know, Silicon Valley is known for startups and known as a technology hub. Many different technologies are pioneered here in the Bay Area. So I think it makes sense that Silicon Valley took this lead on driving this digital accelerator. So today's conversation, I'll probably just to go a little bit deeper in this ecosystem, how we are developing. We started as primarily for. You can hear me? I saw someone speaking. So
no, keep going. Yeah, I'll if somebody speaks out of turn, I'll mute them. Don't worry.
Okay. That sounds good. So ATEA started as monthly meetups and networking events, as early as late 2016, 2017, 18. In 2019, that's when we realized, how do we make sure that every individual, we can influence them to become an entrepreneur, whether it's a tech entrepreneur or non-tech entrepreneur. And then how do we track their success? Whether they're starting a tech startup where they want to raise money, or they want to get introduced to clients or even employees. And similarly with the non-tech folks, I think when we were thinking through this, if this can be operationalized in a streamlined way, so that every time an entrepreneur comes into the system, we pretty much carry that entrepreneur all the way through, especially helping them in their angel seed round stage to Series A stage, and beyond just the basic like a academy, right? That's still needed. ATEA is all about link, learn, and lead, where we want to see every entrepreneur first learn about entrepreneurship and then take the lead and plunge into entrepreneurship and really start their companies. And then and ATEA want to be there to even help them grow. Even the companies who raised Series A funding and later on they raised Series B and Series C, they're still in touch with the ATEA ecosystem, which consists of CXOs and subject matter experts. And we also have relationships and connections with academic institutions in the US and various different things. So we thought it was only for people of Tamil origin, but we saw the interest coming from even Tamils living in, let's say, Bangalore. But then when we moved on to offer this, also introduced this initiative to Tamil Nadu, especially from India, we realized that there's a lot more people need help there, but especially the companies who want to go global. They want to build their products and services and sell it globally. So then ATEA made a lot of sense, and that's when the government reached out. If you need to receive a grant, you have to be of Tamil origin. That was one of the mandatory requirements they had. But then they agreed to make it a little more flexible, saying, okay, you cannot have all founders to be of Tamil origin living in the US, starting a company. But then they said at least 1%. Then they went further and said, okay, at least one Tamil investor in that company or advisor. So that has been the conversation, independent of whoever comes to that period, as government. So we always had the direct relationships, interactions with the IAS officers, and working with different agencies. I think you will see that more, but it is an ecosystem. Everybody, I think the big difference between other systems or even for-profit accelerators and incubators, they bring in angels and introduce those angels and seed investors to these startups, right? ATA does it little bit differently, but more effectively, which is we have a process that we bring on board these companies and we pre-qualify them and curate them. And once we take those startups to certain ranks, if they're top tier startups, top ranked startups, the angels and seed investors, they learn about these companies and they're really doing well. All of a sudden, they're able to look at these companies coming through the funnel, and then they wait sometimes and look for the endorsements and validations. Then they jump in. So, so there are good companies really attract many investors in the ecosystem, right? But if you are really starting and you don't have enough qualification to be onboarded on the platform, but you can always come back to the next cohort to participate. I think I'll probably make you understand a little bit more here. So if you by the way, the ATEA Digital Accelerator was launched in 2019 when the CM delegation came to launch this. They proactively reached out. They heard about ATEA. They saw the good things that the ATEA community was doing, completely volunteer driven, right? And they saw how focused we were and producing results, right? I would say this is not a charity organization, but this is a nonprofit charity organization. But people come here to collaborate as a business forum. So they exchange ideas, they make connections, they really enable business relationships that they start doing business among each other. So that's why I say it's not a charity like other organizations like TNF and others, or even Tamil associations across the US. Everyone their own charter. But here, this is just enabling entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs and youth, and especially women who want to take risks, and advise them on them taking calculated risks. So the accelerator itself was launched in 2019, but 2020 March, April timeframe, that's when we saw the real need for such a thing. We basically hosted it. Some people said it's cloud-based or virtual, it's digital. The first thing, since we all come from supporting back to homeland, and we want to have our back office in Chennai or Thoothukudi or Virudhunagar, Tamil Nadu government, especially guidance, jumped on and said, okay, we will make a link to ATEA Accelerator. So you bring us qualified startups, then we may be able to support you, whether providing subsidiaries or grants, or even help you set up office space, whether you are building a product or doing a back office development, or you are setting up a sales and marketing, as operating as a sales arm for India, right? Marketing arm for Indian business. So they immediately linked ATEA to the government portal, where they talk about the single window portal. So it became a green channel for startups who are qualified startups and highly rated startups from ATEA to leverage some of the government benefits in India. But most importantly, if you see the success, I hope everyone is able to see this. Till date, ATEA as an organization, from the pandemic days, where the entrepreneurs were not able to meet investors in person, They were not able to meet their clients in person, and even hiring employees were not easy. So they really found ATEA Digital Accelerator as a great way to get out there and get introduced to investors and everyone else in the ecosystem. And so since then we've run 5 cohorts. Each cohort runs for 6 to 9 months, and probably 500 to 1,000 applications we received, and we picked 200 startups over 5 cohorts. Then, as I said, we pre-qualify these cohorts before we put them. You'll see that on the next slide. And so far, 7 companies are valued over 100 million, and a couple of them crossed a couple of 100 million. I'm really glad to have CoreStack here, who has been, is a phenomenal success. And I think you will hear from Easy, the founder and CEO of CoreStack. So including CoreStack, a couple of companies crossed a couple of 100 million valuation, and also doing very well in their Series C stage and making acquisitions and all that. So, and then we have collaborated with about 25 funds in the US. I think Indian Express or the Hindu Business Line wrote an article about that there is a cumulative funds of $500 million. ATEA may be reaching access to $1 billion worth of funds. It's not. It doesn't mean entire $500 million is available to the ATEA startups, but these are the cumulative value of these funds. For example, if you attract City Ventures, that alone is $500 million, right, under their AUM. But we were able to attract 25 million, 50 million, $100 million funds, and a few corporate venture capitals. And since we have been looking at these startups, almost 10 to 14 different segments. So we had success in electric vehicle. One of the electric vehicle companies went public through SPAC in the US. And then we have seen companies going public in India. We have seen companies getting sold to bigger organizations while they're in the ATEA cohorts. And then there are several companies are valued 20, 30 million, but at the end of the day, revenue really matters. And that's where I think the go-to-market advisory, the volunteer entrepreneurs and advisors in the ecosystem, they step in to help. And once the startup founder shows interest in that mentor or advisor, then they work together on a one-on-one basis, meaning the advisor gets into that company in a formal formal agreement, gets assigned, continue to help the startup. So that's why I said this is an opportunity for CXOs and advisors and mentors to come and look for best entrepreneurs and best companies within this system. And I would say, ATEA may be one of the very few or only maybe startup accelerator which is operating as a nonprofit. Anytime we introduce an investor, the ATEA as an organization doesn't take any commission or anything. So also ATEA as a platform doesn't take any equity in the companies. So it's just an enabler, right? So you come in, if you get qualified, then you pay $199 and you join the accelerator, then you onboard your information onto into the system. So that's why I think I go here. Here are the steps, right? Ideate is something that the mentors and advisors always help the startups in the very early stage. And ATEA is a nationwide organization also working on formalizing ATEA Academy. Probably you will have more chances if you're an aspiring entrepreneur. You've never been an entrepreneur in your life before. I think this could be a great opportunity. So all the people coming out of Academy may feed into the digital accelerator, right? Once they are ready. And when we pre-qualify, we curate these companies. So we want to make sure that company is really incorporated here or they registered in MCA in India. We in fact go back and check with the Secretary of State in each state they belong to. In this case, I think today's call we have folks from Atlanta mostly, and from Silicon Valley. So we will, look at the local state requirements and make sure that the companies have a valid registration or incorporation. And then we also look at the founder's background, and if they are really in good standing before we push them forward to evaluation stage. We also look at the product and services, is really an enterprise service or a product, or we kind of take a pause and look at the company, and we provide a curation. It's not necessarily a certificate, but the curation report that's given to the evaluators. The evaluators are mostly accomplished entrepreneurs, sometimes subject matter experts in VP level or senior level, CXO level in enterprises. They look at every aspect of the startup, right? Is there a market for that? Is there a product market fit? I think the product market fit is changing. We all know with the AI and agentic AI, and so many things are changing now. But then we also look at their technology or product. We bring in a SME to look at and give feedback and where they stand. And in the process, they may also get introduced to some potential clients for POCs or pilots or proof of value opportunities. So the evaluators will also look at whether the company has already raised any seed angel investment. Was it from institutional investors or an accomplished entrepreneur or an angel who have invested? Whether those are qualified investments in the company, which is important before we take them further. So we score for each of these criteria. And then let's say 100 companies apply in the cohort. 60 or 70 of them go through to the next stage, right? Pre-qualification, onboarding. And for evaluation, only 20 companies will make it, right? And then if those 20 companies will have the scores based on the percentile, or top 10 companies or top 8 companies will make it to deal flow. So when we bring the investors to run this deal flow sessions, we give them the pre-diligence report. So it actually, the investors or the VC firm get a free diligence report, and ATEA in return doesn't take anything, right? Because we still operate as a 501(c)(3) organization. But independently, the people who are involved in the ecosystem, they can become an advisor or a mentor or an investor. So we have seen this happening many, many times. And that's why you see why there are several companies that are valued over 100 million, because every stage of that startup, we find some expert to handhold them to next stage if they are not, that's the power of this ecosystem as a community, us working together. I think I'll just probably, considering the time, and we have several speakers, we plan to do two things. I'll tell you right here. Prakash will probably discuss briefly about cohort 6. We are going to open it up. So we're going to expect applications. Probably the cohort 6 will start sometime in July. We'll invite applications from all ATEA chapters, not just from Silicon Valley. That's one thing. And down the road, in the coming months, we plan to launch a Women and Youth Accelerator. Just have a special focus for women and youth. And then also Small Business Accelerator. For example, Carolina chapter just got started. They have many, many folks doing SMB's business. So we will have not only curated companies going into that accelerator, also we'll find curated investors for such opportunities. So right now, the digital accelerator is mostly tech startups or non-IT, but still life sciences kind of space where there's no real technology, but drug discovery is a big topic, and those kind of stuff all come under digital accelerator. So there are multiple. We actually, as of cohort 5, at some point we had like 80 to 100 volunteers working across the country, but average we used to have 40 to 60 volunteers. That includes accomplished entrepreneurs and investors or advisors in the system. So there is a pre-qualification team, there is an onboarding team, there will be a set of curators, there will be a set of evaluators, and then I think we just probably will introduce a due diligence team, which could be supporting evaluators or supporting the deal flow and providing the right information about the startups who applied. And there are, in every cohort, we have anywhere between 6 to 8 investors at least sit on the judging panel. And then if eight companies are selected beyond evaluation, then they go through this deal flow. It could be in person or it could be a virtual presentation if the startup founder comes from somewhere else. And there is a government grants review team. There is a specific requirements around for grants, and they want to make sure 10% of the investment is what will come as a reimbursable grant. Yes, I think I just want to touch on that, and this is called a reimbursable grant because the founders can start the operations in India. Let's say they can get help from finding the office space or getting subsidies regarding even interior. You want to do the interior for that office, or you want to hire your first 20 employees in Chennai or Madurai or Virudunagar, anywhere in Tamil Nadu. And then you also get other subsidies. You may get introduced to other grants depending on your focus. And I think I'd love to hear from Easy, for example, as well as Aditya on their experience working with their back office in India as well as working with the government in India. I think with that, I'll probably there are a bunch of partners and companies who have been qualified in the past 5 cohorts. You can see folks from UC Berkeley to Rutgers to NYU and from Silicon Valley Bank to many different players have been. So we're going to restart some of these MOU conversations with some of these funds. And you are hearing a lot of layoffs are happening. That's going to be my last statement. Even yesterday, you saw Meta laying off 8,000 people, and then LinkedIn followed with the 600 people they fired. So I think becoming an entrepreneur there is no other time better than now with AI taking over jobs. And if you have a great idea, and I would just strongly recommend you just jump into entrepreneurship, take calculative risk. And this topic, I mean, today's topic for me is just about running through the accelerator, but we'll be happy to talk offline about. I myself, I've done 3 to 4 companies. I've been a serial entrepreneur, taken companies public both in the US as well as in India. So I'll be happy to share my experience in the working with private equity and we also have Mr. Anand Jaganathan on the line. He has taken companies public on NASDAQ, and also he's a well-known serial entrepreneur from Silicon Valley. So I will probably pause there, and then we are planning a monthly office hours. So if you're an entrepreneur, you already have a company you're running, I think you can benefit from those monthly office hours. With that, I think I'll hand it over to Surya or Prakash.
No, so Surya, please pull up your agenda slide so that we can follow the agenda.
Sure, Prakash. Thank you, Lena. That's amazing. Within short span, you explained the whole system. It's really helpful. And I wish we ATEA have more unicorns startups. That is my wish, personal wish. Yeah, let me pull that agenda for today.
Yeah, no, just a surprise to me. This was last year, a year and a half. I started writing down the unicorn founders of Tamil origin. I wrote down like 45 people. just myself, right? Without even going and searching in Google or Perplexity. So I am sure we must have crossed over 100 plus. This is just Silicon Valley alone, by the way, for the rest of the founders on the panel.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Lena. And yeah, as per our schedule, like next, we will be.
You're not seeing it at the agenda slide.
Okay. Then I will start with Rupesh. Mr. Rupesh,
Yeah,
like
please do.
he's not able to make it, so he shared the video. I'll be playing the video now.
By the way, Rupesh came first in the Catalyze startup pitching event, and right after that, he attracted few investors, but then landed at Y Combinator in Silicon Valley. He's from Atlanta, so that's why So he gave a 2 minutes talk. I hope Surya is able to run it.
Yes. Able to see my the video in visible? Okay. Let me start.
Hi everyone, my name is Rupesh and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Revise Robotics. At Revise, we're building robots that refurbish laptops. So we get a bunch of laptops from enterprise customers and we put them into the robotic system. The robot takes each one, opens it, plugs cables in, starts navigating menus, basically refurbishing the device and getting it ready for the next person to use. We're working with a nonprofit right now to donate hundreds of laptops every month to people who really need them. I first became involved in the ATEA community in 2024 when I was invited by a fellow Tamil entrepreneur to attend the Catalyze conference in around December of that year. I actually participated in the startup pitch competition and I was a winner. And more than anything else, it was such a great opportunity to meet other founders in the space, hear their experience and background, and learn from them. And it was such a good memory and experience that I'll forever cherish. Shortly after that, my co-founder and I went through Y Combinator, and that was also a very great experience. We raised a 4 million round after that, and since then we've been building and scaling our startup for the past year or so. It's been one heck of a ride, and for any other entrepreneurs out there, the biggest words of advice I would say is just to get started. When I was getting started, I really thought, I'll start a startup someday. I'll learn everything I need to know about what I need to build in order to actually launch the startup. But as I've started working on Revise, what I've really learned is that there's no way to prepare for it. Just dive in and be in a growth mindset and a learning mindset throughout, and just reacting to new things you learn, to the new people you talk to, and the advice that they give you. There's no mountaintop. It really feels like it's always a learning process, and be prepared for that. No matter what stage you're in, even now after raising a bunch of money and working on the startup, it's still learning and reacting and growing. So best of luck, and hope to talk to you guys at some point. Bye.
Yeah.
So Surya, we could not see that video. We could hear the audio, but we could not see the video.
I think that should be fine, Prakash.
That should be fine. That should be fine. I mean, I think the important thing is everyone got to hear what he had to say.
Yeah.
But I just was giving feedback to Surya that your share screen for some reason was not working.
Yeah. No worries. Yeah. That was a great talk. By the way, he had just a bland, background. There's nothing fancy.
Yeah, I know.
He's a classic. I was so happy for his success. He came out of, I think, Georgia Tech, right? Swami. I think Swami was the one who introduced the first.
No, I was there in Dallas when he presented, by the way.
Yes.
So sorry, nobody stopped, so I was not knowing that. Like I was.
That's okay.
Sharing.
That's okay. Like Lena said, there's no harm done. We could hear the important thing that everyone heard what he said. So you go back, share your screen, and show the agenda, Surya, please.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so next is our star entrepreneur, Aditya Murali. Next, I'll say just a word, a couple of words about Aditya. Aditya is, I have to say, he's an inspiration to many young entrepreneurs out there. To me, he's a very unique entrepreneur. I'm so lucky to have spotted him in 2018 while he came to me saying, Lena, I think I want to, we have built a event management platform and we want to see whether 8K Media can become our client. And I kind of after that, and he said he was working with nonprofits building the websites. I kind of gave him a feedback saying, you have a great opportunity here, and you have the fire in the stomach. I think you should, take some guidance and take the right direction. Put all your energy in that direction. So I gave him only one thing. Hey, maybe you focus on one module like billing or payment. I think then a year later, I saw he already created payportal.com. So I think I want him to come on talk about it since I had the experience launching Visa Checkout. My platform is used to launch entire Visa Checkout. So I was fascinated by how Aditya has taken this business in the last multiple years and how he attracted Thai. I mean, it's just fascinating. Yeah, go ahead, Aditya.
Sure. Hey, thank you for the warm introduction. So I'm Aditya, founder of SwirePay, and SwirePay started with a very simple observation, actually. So I grew up in the Bay Area, went to the East Coast, I actually went to Johns Hopkins, and then I came back to the Bay Area to build actually start other startups like healthcare, like Lena was making an event. So none of those like they did here and there. They didn't really scale up and work out. So and then I was like, I'll make a well, still having a full-time job as an R&D, like a software manager kind of role. I built like a machine learning big data business, then had customers like Google and Polycom. And one day I was in Mountain View picking up a check from Google, and it struck me strange that, I interned at NASA Ames where people were working on like putting a rover on Mars. Yet I'm in Silicon Valley still picking up paper checks like it was 1985. So that became essentially the seed for SwirePay, and we put a joke paper into YC. We got picked up for an interview. And at that time, being researchers, a lot of us had publications, both at work and university. So a year later, we actually started SwirePay. And what we do is we modernize how money movement works, especially B2B and other places where you still have legacy, you have ACH checks and wires. And we modernize them by putting them through RTP, FedNow, and stablecoins. And that transforms the workflows. And what was surprising is, it's about, I think, the total wire volume in US at that time of research, and probably still holding today, is 1.4 quadrillion. And that's a lot of money. And they had 30 trillion in ACH. So that was the kind of seed. But when we talked to major banks in US, they're like, oh, you need traction, you need this, XYZ. And we didn't want to make our own coin in a way. So at that time, we launched first in India, where ATEA was, and the entire team was so helpful. In fact, three-fourths of our team is in Chennai now, but um, growing up here really helped us facilitate, start our operation, and in fact, get DNEB as our first client to help process and reconcile various forms of UPI and instant payments in India. Cutting short, a lot of the other story, today, ICICI Bank sits on our cap table. We process and reconcile over 250 million UPI payments for ICICI Bank every day. And that kind of traction brought us into Bank of New York, and that helped us transform finally the real estate vertical now, where there are a lot of wire workflows and good funds flow require wires both in receiving as well as disbursement. We're again just scratching the surface because uh, it's still wealth management, real estate is a large space. But what started SwirePay was just a simple frustration of getting paper checks and broken ACH process, and that led us to build the next infrastructure for money movement. And in terms of that, following with Surya, the feedback I have for others as well, at least for me, what straight true was sometimes the best idea is not the one you carefully planned. It's something small and frustrating or annoying that keeps bothering you, but you just maybe overseen it and you're like, hey, that's fine. I want to move money from my brokerage account to my checking account. It takes 3 days. You just live with it. But maybe those are the things you want to look for, just like those reflectors on the road, and see how can I better improve it. And yeah, that's a little bit of my journey and how ATA helped and feedback for the next generation.
Yeah. Congrats again, Aditya, on your journey, and really very good luck from ATA on behalf of the entire community. We
Yeah.
want to see you a unicorn soon.
Yeah, Ty, I think Alan's here too. He's been grateful. Is he here?
Yes.
Yeah,
He's
he's
been
here.
useful. Is a board member here too. He helped us close our seed round, and also Lena as well. A total of 5 million so far. So yeah, been really helpful. The community is really good. And thank you again, Lena,
Yeah.
facilitating this and being there from the day one with other ideas.
You are in the best hands with Anand. Also, he was my guru while I was at Plug and Play Tech Center, by the way. So we all go back to the same leader.
Good. Let's go back to the agenda, Surya.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure we.
Okay. So Easy next is Easy is an awesome, I should say, first enterprise entrepreneur. Really, you will learn a lot from him about how to scale business from nowhere. So I've known him since 2019. I had the opportunity to introduce him to ATA cohort. And since then, I was an advisor working with him on partnerships and few things for first initial years. Really, actually, I learned from Easy sometimes. So Easy, look forward to hear your story and your experience with the ATA cohorts. Yeah. I think you're speaking on mute.
Yeah, easier on
Oh,
mute.
sorry. Hopefully, you are able to hear me now, right?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Thank you, Lena, and thank you, Prakash, for inviting me. And good to see a lot of budding entrepreneurs on the call. So, hey, everyone. Good evening. Erilarasan Rajan, but call me Easy. And congrats to Aditya for, we've been on this as buddies, despite of our age differences with ADA. So, happy to talk about what core stack is and where we are, and probably a bit ahead in the entire cohorts of companies that have came together for ATEA. I don't know what the valuation is. Maybe a few billions if I have to compare it with the SpaceX kind of valuation today. Core stack is basically a B2B governance platform for cloud, SaaS, and AI. Today, about 95% of the software companies are looking to use AI. There are about 5% of software companies are needed for the AI by the AI companies. Without our intent, we happen to fall under the 5% of governing the AI, making sure AI is doing the right thing. It is cost optimized for every usage. Return on investment is much higher. AI is doing what it's supposed to do. No rogue models are being built. You talk about from token optimization to model management to managing all the agents that enterprises are trying to build, use by the software providers, and offered by the AI platforms itself is what we govern. Today, we are a company working towards our 100 million in recurring revenues. Raised about little less than 100 million of equity investors' money in few rounds. Collectively, with the debt market being cheaper in the last few years, we have raised additional 65 million or so. So collectively, we've raised about 150 million to build a 100 million recurring revenue business that's cash positive. During this process, we have also acquired four companies for various purposes. One we have acquired for a platform and IP to scale when we needed to quickly scale. We acquired another company from Bay Area. This is ex PayPal gang that built, and they had very large enterprise customers. They needed a graceful exit, so we became a home to give a graceful exit so that customers can survive. No intent of doing anything else with them. It's just a customer empathy that we demonstrated. Most recently, I've acquired a company owned by Vista equity player, Better Cloud, to get into the 4 layers of technology governance. As per Jensen Huang's 5 layers of the technology factory or the technology cake. Leave the energy. That's not a tech piece at this point of time. While that is a booming, opportunity in the entire entrepreneurial ecosystem, which is on steroids, is any kind of energy. But if you leave that, you're talking about infrastructure. Then you talk about data. Then you talk about models. Then you talk about experiences. Core Stack delivers total governance across all this. And the most recent acquisition helped us get into the top 100 plus Salesforce, SAP, Oracle, Office 365, Google Workspace, all of that as a linear, cloud expansion system for us. Otherwise, erstwhile, we were an infrastructure governance player. As I said, accidentally, without our intent, we have been chosen by our customers, by our partner ecosystem as the trusted governance player for all their technology investments. What is the scale that I'm talking about? At any given point of time, as we are talking now, $40 billion worth of technology consumption is happening across all our customers. We have every alternate brand of America that you talk about, from Costco's to Panasonic's to 7-Elevens to, there are thousands of customers, multiple thousands of customers are depending on CoStack's platform. This includes American defense agencies of USA's Defense, Army, Navy, Space Force, Coast Guard, you name it, they all depend on CoStack technology for their cybersecurity, cloud, and now evolving AI governance. That's the impact we've created. We are growing at almost 8 to 10% month over month, especially with the AI offerings, our agentic experiences, and the fact that a single source of truth is being offered for customers to manage their AI digital footprint. We potentially expecting to see in the next 12 to 18 months a steroidal growth that's likely possible for us. With that, the valuation unicorn game, I will leave it to Lena and team to decide. Because as a company, we have not got additional funding. Our last round of funding happened in 2021. Ever since 2021, when the financial markets started taking a reverse turn, we have identified the way of finding cheapest money, which happened to be the debt money or the loan money. If you're responsible, like America, like the capitalistic thought process, you work tomorrow, earn today. That's a debt model. But for that to be working effectively for your company, you need to make sure your revenues and growth rates are matching, and you have a philosophy of how much debt you are able to manage. And we have been able to manage that. So we have non-dilutively grown the company in the last 4 years to an extent where we have gotten the company to be cash positive. So now any additional funding that we need is potentially for expansion of business into the areas that we have not imagined. So in this process, for all the entrepreneurs, I'm happy to share, given that built a company in about 9 years, literally from idea in 2016, November, when nobody believed us in the thought process of multi-cloud governance, to today's world of multi-model AI governance that we're able to deliver. During this period, 0 million to 100 million in revenues, moving the company cash positive, acquiring M&As during this process, finding the cheaper part of money and using it for your benefits to grow the company. Happy to share all of this. But a big thanks to ATEA for when I was stranded, when I was like looking for methods of expanding, when I didn't have my GTM figured out, when we had a good product not accepted in the market, trying to figure out and sell through network. that is when I was going and building frantically my network of connects, right? Whether it is TIE, whether it is any of the events offered by AWS, Microsoft, Googles of the world. And thanks to Lena, who created this forum called ATEA, and we are creating an accelerator. I said, anything and everything we will welcome at this point of time, because we have something to offer and we are looking for market to adapt and where we can go and create value. And ever since, it's been a journey. So I should really appreciate the thought process behind and the kind of ecosystem the accelerator has built. Working with the governments, we normally used to think that it's a less happy process. There is bureaucratic chains involved, and there may be above the table, below the table kind of discussions that may happen, right? I can vouch this process. It took probably about 18 months or so, and during that period, the governments have transitioned. While we worked with the state government of Tamil Nadu, the government parties that are behind have even transitioned. Things have continued to make progress. And all of this happened with just pure efforts and no transaction of any kind, below the table, if so-called, if I have to use the language. Everything was transparent, everything was clean, working with the bureaucrats, working with the politicians, without anything. And in fact, that is one of the strongest points, even this elections I was going around supporting. Hey, the governments are trying to change really and enabling the ecosystem. And I think huge credits to ATEA and the ecosystem of accelerator that is created. And as part of that, we were one of the beneficiaries. I have so far invested more than 600 crores in Tamil Nadu. When we signed up, I committed for a 200 crore investment between 2019 and 2024. And very interestingly, when the last government's chief minister visited, the government agency was telling us, "Hey, CoreStack, we are tracking these companies because we have been supported by the accelerator. We have got some of our expenses refunded as part of the funding process, support that comes in. We have taken the money. Probably it is 150 to 200K at that point of time. It was a good enough money during a COVID period, and especially when entire world was locked down and situations, we don't know what is going to happen, uncertain periods, right? Government coming forward to support an entrepreneur and ecosystem that's creating jobs was very interesting. And 2 years later, when we met the team again with Lena, they told us, "Hey, easy, we are tracking CoreStack based on your tax, blah 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 blah, all the data submitted. And by the way, you said to 200 crore, but you're already crossing 400 crores. So we need to sign the next, MOI. And can you sign for a 500 or 700 crore?" I said, "I'm up for it, man. Anyway, we are expanding in Tamil Nadu. Now we are at DLF in Chennai with about 200 plus people, continuing to expand in India across multiple states. So a great journey, a strong foundation ecosystem, Lena, Prakash and team through ATEA they bring up. Please leverage it. I'm happy to be a spokesperson as a guide, mentor across the growth ecosystem. While I am walking the journey, I'm just taking the liberty that I'm a couple of steps ahead of many of you. So you don't have to go hit the wall and learn. I have hit the wall and I've learned. I wish I had mentors like I come and say here to me. So I would have saved at least a few months to few quarters. Today in the AI world, years is dead. Quarters you survive. Months you are moving on. Weeks you will succeed.
Yeah.
So with that, let me conclude. Happy to extend.
Yeah,
Any
that's a super. Really, really, thank you, Easy. We're going to see in this unicorn race, probably you will beat Aditya.
Yes, I follow what I take his advice. So he has to do it and then tell me how to do it.
Yeah, you've seen both of you from really, really, really small,
early days.
right? So I think one thing I want to give tremendous credit to both of them, especially to Easy on the enterprise space. Today, Tamil Nadu government proactively reached out, and I'm actually heading the US desk and investment promotions for Tamil Nadu state. That come through only the ATA community's help, and I'm reaching out to each chapter to make the right connections. In fact, we are leading AI infrastructure as well as pharma companies. When I say infrastructure, it's neoclouds of the world and all the chip companies. We're trying to get them back to India. So thanks again, Easy. And now I'll pass it on to Prakash. You can make the intro to Raja, and then let's move to the
Sounds
next.
good. Yeah. So let's do that. Thank you, Lena. Thank you, Easy. So next we're going to have Raja. Raja is the founder and CEO of Plethi. Plethi is an innovative health tech company that's developing advanced medical devices and digital health solutions. Raja has a strong background in engineering, product development, and entrepreneurship. Raja has dedicated his career to creating technologies that improve patient care and clinical outcomes. So under his leadership, Plethi has developed cutting-edge solutions in areas such as remote patient monitoring, medical diagnostics, healthcare data analytics. So Raja's expertise spans medical device design, regulatory compliance, commercialization strategies, building scalable health tech companies. So Raja's vision is to leverage technology and make healthcare more accessible, affordable, and effective for patients worldwide. We're very happy to have Raja work with us. In fact, I'll say that I spotted Raja. I wear multiple hats. I'm also a mentor in ID startups. And I spotted Raja there, and I encouraged him to participate in ATEA. And once he participated in ATEA, I encouraged him to participate in TIE. He's done well in both ecosystems. I'll have Raja talk about it. Go ahead, Raja.
Thank you very much. I am everything Prakash said and more. So thank you. Just kidding. Hey, two things that I wanted to cover very briefly: what we are, and then what's this link into ATEA ecosystem, right? Wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So what we are, to what Prakash said, we are InsurTech and health tech. We fundamentally wanted to do one thing, which is we wanted to help our parents recover from any joint issues. Think knee, hip, shoulder, elbow, wrist, finger, spine. Tata used to rub his knee because it hurts, right? That's what we went to go solve. Unfortunately for us, none of us had any background in healthcare. We all came from Cisco Systems, Hyperloop One, and this and that and everything else, right? With a cause. So where we are in the market is in InsurTech, we sell to large corporations, Fortune 100, Fortune 500, large carriers, city, counties, and states. In healthcare, we are in large health systems. We are in spine market with Stryker, and so on. That's really where we are. But more important, let's come back to ATEA. Look, Prakash's point. So we don't have a clue. We want to go solve some problem. We know healthcare is going to be a difficult journey, right? And so a couple of things occur. The first thing that occurs is people like Lena show up. As you folks start thinking about ATEA, look, Lena has done 5 times what I am doing once, right? Or Prakash has done it 3 times what I'm planning to do once. And so these folks came in very early on, and Lena's like, what are you planning to do? I'm planning to do blah, blah, blah in healthcare. And he goes, wow, let me tell you what I did, right? You can't get better than that. Now, Prakash reaches back and says, hey, you got to do this in your Tamil, right? Why aren't you doing this in ATEA? I didn't know it existed. So we got a chance to pitch for the first time at some event, and we won some stuff, and it gave us our first visibility in the marketplace, right? We don't have any AR/PR, nothing of that sort. At the same time, we wanted someone to test our product, and we wanted someone to test our product who'll tell it to our face that we suck, right? And so everyone else says nice things, Anand shows up, right? And IITN, extreme smarter than I will ever learn to be, beats the daylights out of our product, and then sits us down over lunch and beats the shit out of us, right? Pardon me for saying it that way. He's been a partner ever since. So this combination of ATEA events where incredible entrepreneurs come in and speak to us gives us an opportunity to learn, to connecting it to TIE through Anand. It's like Prakash wakes up one day and says, hey, why aren't you applying for TIE 50? And I'm like, I'm not worthy. He's like, no, you are. Apply for TIE 50. There's no other way we would have applied for TIE 50. And Anand, on the other hand, says, I will support you because you guys are doing the right thing, right? And so all these things have come about. What we have not done, did a poor job, which Easy has done a really nice job of is leveraging the grants. It's a great opportunity. The problem is when we started looking at it, it was during COVID, right? And so we didn't know what to do because we were trying to stay alive. So my take on it is if you want to learn, if you want to network, you want to kind of understand how to, if you're a first-time entrepreneur, or you've done entrepreneurship in other industries, and you don't have a clue in this industry like I did, the ATEA ecosystem is the right place for you. There's no other place for you because these are people who take the time to help you think through elements of your solution. Good. So that's my take on it. Lena asked me to say one magical word about what it is to be an entrepreneur. Look, it's a shit show, right? The good, everyone comes in and says, I got happiness done. The way you want to think about it is it's good days and bad hours. Good days, bad hours. The only thing that sustains you is the cause. You have to believe in your cause. You have to have some set of ethos on what you want to do, because during the bad hours, you will remind yourself why you're doing what you do. At the end of it, it'll pay out. I'm thrilled that all of you are part of the ATEA ecosystem. That's the place to be. This is the place to learn. So thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Prakash. Thank you, Anand. Thank you, Lena.
So yeah, Surya, please go back to the agenda. I think Ramesh is speaking next.
So we have Ramesh.
Go ahead, Ramesh. Yeah.
Yeah. I will share a few words about Ramesh. So it's my proud moment as well, like because it was like the time where I was exploring different ecosystems in Atlanta because like how business works, how ecosystem works. I was traveling to different ecosystems to understand how it works. So one place is something called Atlanta Awards, like yes, that was Startup Awards. And I was watching and I was recording things, and suddenly I was hearing one name, Jenny Healthcare, announced as a winner. And then they were a group of people, they come to the stage and they get it, and one guy talk about Tamil Nadu state, Virudhunagar. That brought my attention, how Tamil Nadu is coming there. Then that grabbed my attention, and then I connected with Mr. Ramesh, like through his CTO, Mr. Kalyan. And then that is where now we know each other, but that is where the ATEA came into the picture of the powerful, where we have the ecosystem where we can bring him. And that is how Ramesh introduced to our ATEA. And then right now, Ramesh is one of the best and innovative product called Nextcura. It is, as per the Atlanta, it is the top 40 startups. They're always leading on the one of the top 40s. I will invite Mr. Ramesh to share more about him because after that, his life is drastically changed. So, Mr. Ramesh, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Surya. Hello, everyone. Great to be here. So as Surya said, Surya met, I didn't meet him actually, but Kalyan met him, but he's the one who took that video. And I was like, who took that video and shared on the WhatsApp and stuff. So 2024, we won the Best New Startup Award. That was a big eye-opener for us. And so what we do is we are building a product called Nextcura. And what it does is, it basically deals with 360 comprehensive healthcare for corporate wellness and caregivers. Basically, we are here. How do we take care of parents in India as well as individuals, right? So basically, three pillars. How we are going to sell it. One is corporate wellness, caregivers, which is kids are here and having a long distance relationship with parents, and how do you see their data, right? So I'm going to come to that. And then third one is individuals. So basically caregivers and individuals are direct to consumers. So what we do is, so when we started in 2023, December 2023, we registered the company, we had the idea. And then we started raising, right? So in first 3 weeks, we were able to raise close to $200,000. When I shared the idea, I had a crappy deck, but the idea was there. And where the early stage investors believed in the idea, believed in the founders, and that's how they invested. So the earlier idea was basically it is still there, but it's a clinical model. It's a second opinion of a doctor where you have an input to the data that would evaluate. Input to the data is the 180 biomarkers from the blood and urine, and that would evaluate your entire body functions and gives a predictive score for each body function: your lungs, your heart, your kidney, your bones, etc. Right? And so basically, it would be very helpful for an individual, and they would be empowered to know what's happening within their body, right? So that is how we started. So we built this algorithm from scratch, right? It's our own deep learning AI/ML model we built. And from there, okay, so we have a product now. We have thought about this. How do we sell it? Right? That's the huge challenge. That's why the startups fail. Startups fail because they're able to build the product, but they're not able to sell it to the customers. Number one. Number two, who are their customers? Right? Are they going to be B2B or B2C? Now, there is a play between B2B and B2C. When we are going to the VCs, they'll be more attracted towards B2B, not B2C, right? And things like that. And obviously, there will be more things that might be coming up with the VCs, like, some of them I've heard about as it's a crowded market and stuff like that. You keep hearing it. So now, okay, so how do we sell it now, right? So we have to figure out something. Okay, so how do we figure that out and make it more attractive to sell, right? So then we came up with the idea of, okay, what is the next big thing that's going to happen? A revolution, right? That's happening now as well, which is longevity, right? Okay, so longevity is, okay, so how do we deal with longevity? Longevity is nothing but continuous monitoring of your body, right? So heart rate, HRV, number of steps, your sleep rate, your oxygen, your daily oxygen level, blood oxygen level, etc. Okay, so there are a number of devices in the market currently, right? What are the devices we have? We have smartwatch, we have the ring, and the band was coming up, right? Not that popular at that time, but band was coming up. Right. So we took so there are a number of devices available. So why don't we integrate with them? So we then integrated with Apple Health, Fitbit, and Google Health, right? Okay. So we thought like something is missing. No, like, can we really sell it with a combination of longevity and a clinical model? Something is missing, something we need to be attractive to the audience we are selling. Right? Now that's where we figured out that there is a market for the smart ring that we can penetrate. Right? That is where we manufactured this smart ring you see here. Right? It's a great quality ring. All the internal parts of the rings are made in Europe, and the outside, and it is being assembled in Japan. Right? This is the ring we're manufacturing. Right? Okay, so we got that, and we have to manufacture this. How do we do that? Then we did a lot of research. What are the internal parts goes into the smart ring, and what are the chips being used? What are the things being used? What are the internal components there? And where can we manufacture this? But who are the partners are we kind of, We figured that out, and then we met with one partner, but that did not work out really well. Then the Japanese partner was really amazing, and they are a 53-year-old company who created a line for us, hardware line for us with our brand. And that's how the ring was born. It's called Next Ring. And we had the first shipment 2 weeks ago, and we have already sold 100 of them, 100 rings, which is equivalent to a revenue of 25K. And more rings, we have another 100 rings of soft commitment we have got. And hopefully we'll be selling more. So, but there is definitely a great market penetration. And if you see the numbers, just 8.5 million smart rings have been sold around the world. 6.5 million has been from Aura, and rest from the other ring manufacturers, right? So that's the vision behind it, making it more attractive now. Okay, so we have got the ring now, right? What is next we are doing, right? And I think the ring flow is there, and we have set that up. And the customers actually right now, as of today, 30 customers have logged in. They're using our rings. Now they're getting a direct feedback. I'm in touch with the customers and stuff like that, directly getting the feedback. How do we do it? And they call me, and sometimes they get excited. Hey, your sleep rate is really accurate, which is accurate, which is true. Whenever I sleep, whenever I wake up, you rarely get a chance to wear your own product and test it out. That is how excited I am. But I think a good long way to go, but I'm very, very excited about the path. On top of it, so many customers have been asking, okay, so the ring, is there something for the fitness? Can you guys do and stuff? That is what you can see here. We came up with this band here. It's a great quality band. It's going to be, we're going to launch it in October. This is the prototype which I received 2 days ago, which we're going to launch this as well. So there is a concept behind ring, band, ring. You might have got it. It's a multi-device concept where morning to the evening, you can wear the ring, right? And I'm going to the gym, wear the band. It's the same reading. It's the one device. Ring or band, it's one device. It's a multi-device concept, which no one has done that. So that will be doing it. So a lot of innovations coming. So not just that longevity, then we are into nutritional as well. What are you eating for lunch? What are you eating for breakfast? What are you eating for lunch today? And all your calories gets registered. You can search for the food on our platform. And I'm eating dosas. You can still search for dosas. You'll find dosas. I'm eating bread. What kind of bread? Corn bread, wheat bread. These are the calories get registered. So yesterday I eat these many calories. What is my goal for today? 2,500 calories. You search for the food, and then you can, whatever the food you're eating, register that. Okay, I met my goal today. So it's a one-stop shop platform dealing with clinical, which you know about your body before the doctors knows you. Second, longevity, continuous monitoring of your body. The next big thing in longevity you're doing is patches. We're planning to get in the patches into the platform as well, blood sugar. So that will be as I said, we wanted to have everything solving an issue of data fragmentation, where having a one-stop shop platform. And importantly, coming to how we sell it, I wanted to talk about this, is corporate wellness. Corporate wellness, right now, if you see, I know many CEOs are on this group, you will see a lot of wellness platform selling the gym memberships and other memberships, blah, blah, blah. That's not going to work, honestly. The way it is going to work is how much time your employee is sleeping. How much time are they really sleeping well? If they're not sleeping well, they're going through some kind of stress. Their heart rate is going to go up. The HRV is going to go up, right? And they're not walking enough. They're not running enough, right? How do you even do that? And you're a big company. Every quarter you come out and announce the quarterly results of financials. But what about the employees? How are they doing? Are they doing really well? How do you do that? Now, what we do is an employer. So we as an employer, you can subscribe to our platform. So we charge just $10 a month per employee, $120 per year, and we give the ring for free, ring or band for free. And you can download the dashboard, not the individual. You will not have, because of the HIPAA guidelines, you will not have access to individual data. So you can download the dashboard, how well your employees are doing in terms of the health. Let's say you have 1,000 employees. You can say 51% are sleeping well, which means you're at red, literally, right? So, and this is what their oxygen level is, and this is what their overall dashboard, right? And this is how they help, this is how their heart rate is. So we have done a algorithm on that and give a variable saying that 70% of your employees are healthy. Come up with a score and say 70% based on the aggregate of all the data and say 70% of your employees are healthy, which is okay, right? So giving a dashboard insights into the HR department, and they can figure out how many employees are stressed out, how many employees are not sleeping well, why are they not sleeping well, right? These data is not there anymore. It's not there at all with the employer. Insurance companies can pull out, but as an employer, you do not have this data. Now, if you have this data, you have a greater negotiation power to your insurance company and say, this is the dashboard I've got, and this is healthy, this is how healthy my employees are. So, you can negotiate the health insurance cost price. So that is what we have solved, is one on the corporate wellness. Second, lastly, I'll finish quickly, but the parents, right? Second use case we have solved is you're here. How do you take care of your parents in India? Correct? I'm here. My mom is 65-year-old. She's in India. She's diabetic. I do not know how she's doing. I do not have her data, right? Now, give the reins to your parents or your in-laws, do a continuous monitoring, and they can share your data once on giving a consent. They can share your data to you. At the same time, you can order the reports from here in India, and we are partnering with Newberg Diagnostics in India, where they come home, take the blood and urine, go back to the lab, and upload directly to our platform. You can see your clinical data of your parents, how well they're doing, how is their heart doing, how is their lung doing, how is their kidney doing, because they're getting old, right? That's a second use case we have solved. And so this is overall what we are doing. And lastly, tips for budding entrepreneurs is building a company or product is tough. You need to have a tough mindset getting into this. If you need to win, you need to go through a lot of things. I think people like Lena or Easy or Aditya, Raja, I'm sure they've gone into a lot of stuff. Similarly, I've gone through a lot, quite a lot, right? Particularly raising money is tough, convincing people is tough, selling is tough, but end of the day, you as a founder need to have a vision saying that I'm on it and I'm going to win this. And I'll end it here. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Fantastic. Thanks, Ramesh. So in the interest of time, before you bring up the agenda, Surya, I'll jump and I'll introduce Anand. So Anand is, you've heard from Lena earlier, and you've heard from several others, including Raja and Aditya, about the value that Anand brings to them. Anand is a prominent angel investor and an active member of TIE Angels. TIE Angels is one of the world's largest angel investor networks. Anand himself has extensive experience in evaluating and funding early stage startups. He brings a deep expertise in technology, business strategy, and entrepreneurship. As part of TIE Angels, he's been instrumental in mentoring founders, conducting due diligence on investment opportunities, helping startups scale through strategic guidance and capital. His investment focus spans across technology companies. He's known for his hands-on approach in supporting entrepreneurs through their growth journey. Anand's insights have helped numerous startups navigate the challenges in building sustainable and scalable businesses. We're fortunate to have Anand join us today. We'll have Anand say a few words. Go ahead, Anand.
Thanks, Prakash, for your kind words. I guess I'm sort of dating myself when I say I started my first company in 1983, when there are very few examples of Indian Americans starting a company. I was naive, but I always felt that I could start a company, and if it didn't work, I'd go back to being a job. Luckily, that first company, Banyan Systems, was a phenomenal success. It was an IPO and did well, so I thought I could do it every time. But that's not the case again. As an entrepreneur, what you learned the last time, you learn it, but then you need to forget it and think again. And you learn something new every time. And so I did 4 more companies. I had another very successful one called Responses, which was a unicorn in 2011. I did very well and got bought out by Oracle. So sort of some basic concepts that I just wanted to, I mean, you heard a lot from very successful entrepreneurs like Aditya, Raja, Ramesh, and Easy. So I think you've heard a good amount from the entrepreneur perspective. And being an entrepreneur is tough, but if someone comes and asks me, should I quit a job to become an entrepreneur? I'll say yes, because there's nothing ventured, nothing gained. And if you don't get out there, you're always going to regret that you didn't. If you want to be an entrepreneur or even have thinking that you can, you should do that immediately. But being an entrepreneur also requires, I think someone mentioned, it requires a strong focus. You almost have to be stubborn, but at the same time listening. And this is sort of an important point. If you look at all the 4 examples of companies, they all sort of pivoted, not in a big way, but listen to the customers and figure out what is needed, what makes sense. I mean, I remember clearly from the case of the 2 companies that I worked closely with, Plati and SwarePay. Aditya started off with being in payments business, and quickly realized there's a bigger opportunity in terms of the whole managing the money movement of businesses. And that was an opportunity where they could stand very differently. Same in the case of Plati. I remember they have a great solution for dealing with musculoskeletal injury and improving the outcomes. And first approach was to go to orthopedic surgeons and say, you know what, we can give you a better outcome. But really, who's the bigger need? The bigger need are all these large companies who have workers' compensation, who have people off work, and suddenly realize it is in their benefit that how do you get the people back to work after a musculoskeletal injury? Same as Ramesh came with a very great idea that, how do you go to businesses and say, what is the health wellness quotient of your company? And so I think you have to look for what is the nugget. And that's really what, when I look at from a TIE Angels point of view, and I've done about 45 investments, we're always very early seed stage. We tell the companies coming in, first of all, realize, don't go to an angel thinking that the angel is sort of this free money, you can come with an idea and get money. That doesn't happen anymore. Angels are as much demanding as any other venture firm. Only thing is they write smaller checks and they spend more time with you and they'll be more patient with you. And we always say we look for a product market fit. The first thing is understand who your customer is. Get what is the core nugget. And I always say every product has a nugget. Look for the nugget in a product, why someone is buying that. And you need to get enough of a sample size to know that there is a nugget. Next, you figure out how you can scale that nugget into a bigger market. So in all cases, they had a nugget, but then the scaling of the nugget to a bigger market was very different from the first set of customers. You have to understand how to do that. And third, I always look for is why you. Now, you may not have been in that domain, but you should be understanding the domain that you're in much better after you've been selling enough to customers. Aditya was not the fintech expert. Raja is not the orthopedic expert, but they know their market and they understand the customer. I'm saying that Ramesh knows the longevity market and Easy knows all about governance. And you need to be the expert in terms of what you do. So I think that's sort of my high level. I'm not going to use more advice. I think the high level is the nugget. Find the nugget. Find out what is the market that needs the nugget in a bigger fashion, and then understand you as the founder. You should be the expert in terms of the market that you're serving. As TIE Angels, and we have two programs, and many of the ATEA companies. So we sort of an adjunct to ATEA. We work along with Lena and Prakash and others. And we also work with IIT startups. So we love these accelerator programs because it teaches the entrepreneurs to say, okay, what do you need to do to be prepared to make a pitch to an angel or to an investor? One is that we have a TIE Angels program where we have a network of angels across the world. We work with across all TIE chapters. And in the case of like Aditya's company, we led the first seed round and the total raise around about $3.5 million. Across a lot of different participants. So that is TIE Angels. The other program we have is TIE 50, and I'll encourage a lot of entrepreneurs to apply for this. Pleti, Jogo, SwirePay, many of the ATEA companies have been part of the TIE 50 program. And the TIE 50 program is basically recognizing impact. It is not necessarily from an investment point of view. They recognize companies from impact, innovation, and traction. So we look for saying what is it that do you have? So we will choose 50 companies which are 3 years away from revenue, but they have a major innovation and major impact. So we look for different things, but it's also a great showcase because you are part of TICON. You're featured the whole day. Everyone gets 2 minutes of fame on the main stage, and the top companies get selected for a program, a Shark Tank-like program called Meet the Drapers. Both Pleti and SwirePay were successful companies that got selected for the Meet the Drapers program, and they create a very, very nice video that is great as a marketing video that you can use for a variety of purposes. So again, my thing is, if I were to summarize, I'd say, if you want to become an entrepreneur, do it now. There's no such thing as waiting for it. Now is the right time. 2 is leverage the resources you have with ATEA and with others, and the network that ATEA creates, because you cannot do it alone. Like I said, just like you need a village to educate a child, you need an association to make a successful entrepreneur. So you need to be able to do that. And third is know your customer. Know what is the value proposition, what you do, and understand it, because that's sort of very important for you to be able to say, if I'm going to be successful, you see, all successful companies, they know exactly who their customer is and what makes it do and what's the big market. So with that, good luck to everyone.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank
So
you.
I think we've reached the end of the program. So what I wanted to talk about next is cohort 6. But before I did that, I wanted to give an opportunity to ask questions. Surya, please, I want to make sure that you got to say everything that you intended to say. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Prakash. Mainly from entrepreneur perspective, the one thing which I see when it comes to this ATEA, I felt it more good on connecting to the right people at the right time. That is happening. And pay forward is one another thing I always love to nurture in our community, because when I see many of the entrepreneurs, they are so successful and they win and they have the successful, and they are not part of any where they can share their knowledge, whatever they earned it. So many young entrepreneurs and many people who is struggling to make, they have the passion in their mind and they have idea in their mind, but they don't know how and how to grow it further. So I always see ATEA as one of the platform, as personally, and also which can help. It's not only hearing the success stories, even the failure stories, which can help somebody to also travel along with them, help along with them. So ATEA Atlanta chapter is one another. It's completely made by people right now. We are growing, and recently even Carolina chapter also they started it, and wish them good luck. And that is all we have, Prakash. Like this accelerator is something that we are also keenly looking forward to be having successful startups from even from Atlanta, because Atlanta's mayor, as one of his vision is around like making Atlanta's top five, make it to the top five list as an hub for startups. So that is something I'm also taking it as my personal goal and trying to educate people on how to become an entrepreneur. And I think our AT is really well, and this particular program I'm really hoping for.
Fantastic. Yeah, Lena, any final words? And then I'll
Yeah,
go ahead.
I just want to thank every speaker here, and yes, especially Anand. I know you've been very patient, whatever you do, and it was amazing when I had 8 to 10 investors invest in SwirePay. It's like an example of how multiple folks can come together and really help build the company, right? And then that was a couple of years before Tai came in. So once, because Anand's really spearheaded that. The interesting thing was I mentioned about a company which I'm advising from ATA community from Dallas, and Anand already gave me his, okay, Lena, introduce me and the core Thai board here to that company. I said they're not raising money, so still introduce me to them. At least we'll keep a watch on them. So again, I thank you, Anand. So we need folks like you in the community, more and more people like you. That every company which goes through the accelerator, I think they will see the light, definitely see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I think Ramesh, your project is very ambitious, and it's fantastic that how you are thinking through, and especially bringing India into the picture and parents and all that. I think we wish you great success, and any help from Silicon Valley, let us know how we can help you grow to the next level. With that, Prakash, I think we can open it up for QA. And I want to recognize one person who is a very, very quiet contributor to ATA Startup Accelerator, that is Shiva Ganesan from LA. Although
Is he on
he's,
the call? Shiva,
yeah,
please turn your video on. Yeah, thank you, Shiva.
and Shiva has been our admin for the ATA Startup Accelerator system that we built from day one. He has been associated. Shiva, are you there?
Yeah, he's here. His video is on.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. In fact, he became an entrepreneur while he was working at, I don't know, it was Grant Thornton, or he started Anjappar there. He started Shopper's branch and several others. I think you were also, you had a media technology, right? And
Yes, sir.
I have to really say it all started after he got involved in ATA, got inspired by others, and that's Shiva is an example. But at the same time, he's a one go-to man, always available to keep as a system admin for the platform as we onboard the startups. Thank you for what you have done and what you're doing, Shiva, for ATA. Yeah.
Thanks, Ravi.
Very good. So I wanted to give Swaminathan also a chance before we sign off for his final word. Once he speaks, then I will come and talk about cohort 6. Go ahead, Swaminathan.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Prakash. Thank you. Thank you to all the speakers, and thank you, Lena. Very, very excited. A lot of takeaways from this. We have some follow-up questions, and we'll come back in the interest of time. I'll reach out to you and get some information and pass it to the ATA community in our next quarterly meeting. So I'll do that. Thank you for organizing this.
Very
And
good.
thanks to my team, Surya as well, being always.
Yeah, well, both
it's
you
a
and Surya were
wonderful.
instrumental in putting this together. So
Yep.
appreciation to both of you for doing this. So I'll sign off and just say I've put the link for participating in cohort 6. It's dax.atausa.org, right? So go in there, and complete your application. All these guys, Raja, Aditya, Easy, they all started there. That place they started. They worked with Shiva. All of you saw Shiva. Shiva is our uh, key person who facilitates the whole process. There's a question, is there any payment? So you complete the application first, we'll complete the curation. If we feel that you've passed the initial steps in the curation, then we'll come back to you. There is no payment to complete the initial process. So my recommendation is please go to dax.ateusa.org and complete your application, and then we'll get in touch with you.
Yeah. That will start the pre-qualification process.
Correct.
Once you are qualified, we will allow you to become part of ATEA Accelerator.
Yeah.
Then you pay $199 fee. It's pretty much nothing compared to the money you can raise and help you can take from the accelerator.
Fantastic. Yeah. Any questions?
Go
Yeah, go ahead. I was going to say, there are no questions coming in the chat. Mostly people thanking and praising each other, which is a good thing.
Oh, yeah, I have one thing.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Follow up with what Lena said. So, Lena, we might be manufacturing this in India, Make in India thing in future, both the bands and ring. We might be making some plans for that next year. So maybe we might need your help to see if we can get some subsidies and things like
Not
that.
even subsidies. If you're doing it in Chennai, you can even grants.
Yeah, grants and subsidy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're planning to do it in Chennai specifically.
Yeah.
And yeah.
If it's a reimbursable grant, you have to go through the ATEA Accelerator process. That's one thing. But we can introduce you to healthcare and other grants within the government.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay. Yeah, that'll be helpful.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that'll be helpful, Lena. Yeah, sure.
You can also become part of this accelerator. That will also help both sides.
Yeah.
Example. Yeah.
So we have one person raised hand, Amuda, I guess.
Go ahead, Amuda. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thanks for sharing all your experiences. And I have a very common question, as most of us have maybe gone through. Being the first generation of immigrants here, we all have got into this whirlpool of family commitments, mortgages, kids' education, and all that. So, as Mr. Anand said, we have to become a full-time entrepreneur. So, how did you all overcome the challenge of switching from 8 to 5 job to an entrepreneur with all those financial commitments and challenges that we have? It's a very common question. I think most of us are going through this phase, but I think, listen, waiting to listen from you. It's a very simple question, but it's very difficult actually.
Do you want, can I go first?
Please.
You can go first and then Anand.
Yeah, very quickly, I'll tell you mine. It is hard. There's no way for you to, but it goes back to if you believe in the conviction, you heard Anand say this, and Prakash say this, if there is a time, this is the time. As senior exec, ran corp dev for Brownson, but I had money. Let me just put it this way, right? I had money, I had Porsches and drift driving and everything else. That's not what I am today. It's a conviction story, right? It's a believe in the ethos. If you believe in it, there's enough fire for it to drive. I think part of the journey for you is to seek to understand. It's not like tomorrow morning you're going to have a product, right? And so what you really do is begin the journey of poking at it, seeking to understand what the market is, whether if you build it, will they come, right? And once you kind of sort that out, then along with it, who else are you going to bring in the journey? Then this network gets you the right people alongside. And once you do that, the next question is, okay, am I now going to take the leap? Am I going to hack it when I have some time? And then when I take the leap, do I need money? And if so, how am I going to do that? This network comes in. That's how you want to think about it. No one's asking you to quit a job tomorrow and move, but yes, you will have to make sacrifices. Hey, that's part of the journey.
Great. Thank you.
I mean, I can go a little there. I mean, first, as Raja mentioned, there are two aspects of it. One is that when you're even if in a job, you should have additional time reserved for doing a project, and that's sort of a very important aspect of time management. That you have to say that I'm going to spend 4 hours a day or whatever after hours to be able to work on a project. The second is your first thing is if you have an idea, you got to convince 2-3 other people to also do the same, spend overtime and spend time with you on the project. Because if you're not able to convince 2-3 other people and saying this is a great idea, then you'll have a much harder time convincing an investor. So even before you leave your job and everything else, start working with other people after hours and start creating an idea. And it may not be the idea that you eventually fund, but I think that's the first 2 steps you have to do this. And this is the time. There are a lot of programs to fund. There are VCs right now who are actually funding ideas, who are actually a lot more lenient than angel investors. But you have to come with an idea. But the best time to do that is, like I said, you have to understand who your customers, what's your idea, and convince a few other people to say that's a great idea and they want to work with you.
Yeah. So I totally agree with you on it. From my experience, my very first company, late 90s, I was bootstrapping all along, part-time. At that time, I was spending more time over the weekends. But recently, I'm incubating a cancer research platform. You believe it or not, I have a 14, 15 member team, and none of them are full-time. They're all, half of them are women, and they're research scientists and doctors. We have all hands call at 7 a.m. on Sunday, every week. I've been doing this last 3-4 months now, and we made for that, without even having full-time people, we made a really tremendous progress. Now we had traction from infrastructure companies and things like that. So I'm just saying, you just have to have an idea, and you're ready to take calculative risks without affecting your family and financial situation and everything. So I completely acknowledge Anand's point as well as Raja's. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question, Amuda.
So there've been also questions coming in the chat, and lots of people are responding to it. I'll capture all the chat messages as well. So this, like I said, this recording will be posted on the ATEA's YouTube channel. So I'll share that once it's uploaded. I'll share that link with Surya and Swami. They can in turn share it within the respective groups.
Is there any deadline on that? One of the questions is related to
so I think Lena answered that question. So July 15th is when we want to start the cohort. So don't wait until July 15th. My suggestion, because we want to do at least the pre-qualification before that, right? So give us some time. People doing it, Shiva, me, Lena, others, all of us are volunteers. So it's not like this is our only job. So give us some time to go through the pre-qualification process, so yeah. But it's open now, so you can start applying now. So maybe Aditya, you can answer that question. Do they need customers before they get started, right? So
I mean, no, I came in idea stage here.
Yeah.
So responded to everybody else before. I think two things. They're great mentors here. So whatever you want, whatever specialization, Lena does this very well. He pointed me SBK initially. He's like, you work in finance, go to that person, and really he helped me guide a lot. So definitely pick your idea, present it. If it's a good idea and it's something worth solving, they know how to find the right mentor to help you guide in the right direction.
Very good. Okay, with that, folks, good night. I know it's close to 10 p.m. in the East
Good job.
Coast. Thanks a lot, Raja, Anand, Easy, Aditya, Ramesh. And thank you also to Swami and Surya for spearheading this. Thank you, Lena. And good night, everyone.
Yes,
Right.
Prakash.
Thank
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.